For my project, I had the Modicon / IFIX integration. The main objective is to gain a familiarity with the Modicon M340 programming software and the IFIX programming software. For that reason, I'm going to show the step-by-step process from Modicon to IFIX. The first step is opening Unity Pro, which is the software for Modicon. Then you'll want to click New for a new project. Then here you'll want to select the P342030 processor and the 4 slots backplane. Then click OK. It's making the new project. From here, you'll want to go to PLC bus. And then you can add the remaining PLC cards in the available slots. The first one is DDM 16022, then the AMI 0410, and finally the, not discrete, the AMO 210. While you're here, make sure that this is on version 1 instead of 2. Select yes. Next, you want to go to Communication. Right-click on Networks and select New Network. Go here, click Ethernet, and then OK. And then click on the new network that you made. Here, you'll want to click New for the model family and select the very top one. And then yes. And here you can add the IP and the subnet of your PLC. Which for me, mine is 192.168.203.250. And my subnet is 255.255.252.0. And after you have these, go to Edit to validate your changes. And then you want to go back to where this PLC bus is and then hit the plus next to your P34 to get to the Ethernet. Here you'll click channel 3 and then go to function and click this Ethernet. And then click netlink to link the network that you made to the PLC. And then you'll want to validate the changes here as well. And next, you will want to go to PLC at the top and set the address. And set your IP here as well too. And then in media, you want to make sure that this is set up as TCP/IP. Then I always like to test the connection to make sure I have a path, which I do. And click OK. And now you can connect to the PLC. And now that you have the PLC configured, you can make a section, which is where the actual programming will take place. I'll just name this main. And then language, make that this ladder, and apply. And before doing any programming, I always like to go to the elementary variables and create the tags first. For simplicity's sake, I'm just going to make a simple start-stop. So I'll have a HMI start and type. You're going to want to change that to ebool because the address will be a memory bit, which is similar to a B3 bit with Allen Bradley. Then I'll make it HMI stop. And make that M2. And finally, a system and that will be 3. So once you have your tags, then you can start your programming, which will be in the section that we made. And then, like I said, I'm going to make a start stop. So place that input, and that will be my stop. Apply, and okay. And do the same thing with this next one, which will be my start. Apply, okay. And then select my output or coil. Select my system enabled. And this will be system enabled as well. Then one more rung, which will go to a physical light to show that it is working. And then the address of this will be %, and then Q. Q is your outputs, and then I is your inputs. 0.1.16. Apply that, okay. Then once you have your program built, you can go up to this build and analyze the project. And once it shows up with 0 errors or 0 warnings, you can then download, which is up towards the top right here, and then transfer. And then you'll always want to do rebuild all and transfer. And then that will load. And click OK. And then to put it online, click this run button. And to test to make sure it actually works, you can just set this value to 1. And then as you can see, once that's to 1, it turns on your system enabled, which then turns on the output, which is the light. And now that you can see that your program is working, now you can move on to putting the tags into the top server. Before going into your top server, first thing you'll want to do is go to the settings for it. And in this configuration API service, you'll want to make sure that the enable is selected to yes. If it's not yes, it will not have a path to the PLC and it won't be able to talk to each other. So once that's at yes, you can close out of that and open up your top server. Then you'll want to click add channel, and then you want to make sure that this is selected on Modbus TCP/IP. And then you can click next through the rest of these settings. Then you want to click add new device, and then I usually name this M340 after the PLC. Next, and then you put the IP of the PLC here. And then you can click next through the rest of these as well. And once that's made, you can start adding your tags. So this will be my HMI start. And then instead of adding the regular address like this, you have to convert it to what's called Modbus 948 or 984, excuse me. And to do that, you'll want to take this %m out and then you add 1 to this last digit, so that'll make it 2, and then in front of that, put 5 zeros. And that will convert it to the correct address. So we'll do the same for the HMI stop. And this will be 5 zeros and a 3. And then my system enabled. And this will be 5 zeros and a 4. So once you have your tags built, I like to go to Quick Client to test them out and make sure that they're actually communicating with the PLC. So if I synchronize the start and add a 1 to this, it should give this tag a value of 1, and I'll also give the system enable a value of 1 to show that works. And then if I do a synchronous write to the stop and make that a 1, it should make the system enable go back to 0. And that's how you can tell that they're talking to each other. So once you have these tags set up, now you can start the configuration of IFIX. Once you're in IFIX, the first thing you'll want to do is go to Application and then click this SCU. And you'll want to make sure that you have IGS added to here. And if you don't, you can add it by going to this guy and clicking on IGS and clicking add. But in my case, I already have it, so I don't have to do that. And close out of this. And next, you'll want to go to IO drivers and click on IGS to confirm that your top server is in here, which you can see it is. So you can exit out of this. And then to add the tags into IFIX, press this Discover and Config button. I'll bring you to this screen. Press Next. And then you'll want to make sure that this is on IGS. Next. And then click Browse Current IGS Driver Configuration. Finish. And then on this left side, you can see that your top server is right here and your tags are here. You'll then want to select the tags that you want to put into IFIX. And once you have done so, click this wizard button right here. Click Next. And then you want to change the block type to the correct type. In my case, all my tags are digital registers. Then Next, Next. And then click Next again and click Finish. Once you've done that, you can actually add the tags to IFIX by pressing this and then yes. And then you can verify that they've been added by this last column right here. And you can see that they have been created. So you can exit out of this, and then you want to save this. I'll just call this step by step. Save it. And then next, you'll want to go to your database manager and then open local node. And then you can see it shows the tags that you added. And then next, you'll want to double tap on one of the tags and then go to advanced. And you want to make sure that this enable output is checked, because if it's not, you won't be able to talk from the top server to IFIX. And save that. And then check the rest of these to make sure that this is checked. And check this one. And then enable this guy. And then you'll want to save the database, and then you can exit out. Once you've done that, you've configured IFIX, and you can start the outline, or start making the outline. And I like to use the dynamo sets because they're already made. So I'm just gonna do 2 momentary push buttons. I'll make this one start, and then add my tag. Okay. And then I'll add my stop button. And add my HMI stop. And then I'm going to make a indicator which will show whenever my system enable turns true. And you can do that by going to insert objects and then selecting any of the shapes really. I prefer an oval. And then once you've made that, you can left click, go to animations, and then go to foreground. And then you can select that tag here. Click OK. And then you can see that when it's off, it'll be this color. And then when it's on, it'll be this color. But I'm going to make this white. And I'll make this one green. Okay, so once you've made your IFIX display, now you can run it to check that it'll work. And to do that, you can go home and click switch to run, or you can also click it at the top here. So if this works, I should be able to click start, and my system enable light will turn on, and then I should be able to stop it and start it again, and so on. So once you made it this far, you've successfully made a program from Modicon to IFIX. Hopefully, if you struggled with this process like I did, this video will be helpful. Or if you're just starting, hopefully this will give you a head start. Thanks for watching.